Hey, yo, what's up? My name is Myne, and welcome back to the Hytale podcast. I'm joined with my partner, Chris, and today
Hey.
we're going to head straight into viewer questions because we are very, very behind. We're around 2.5 months of viewer questions behind. So if you want to ask us questions, go down in the description, join our Discord. It's probably the most active Hytale community on Discord right now. So if you want to join some fellow Hytale lovers and enjoyers, click that link in the description.
Yes, sir.
So, first question is from Vid. So, Hytale is announced to be sandbox with depth as a role-playing game. They also state somewhere, I don't know where, that players must survive. Well,
What?
that doesn't make sense. Will Hytale have stamina? That's okay. That's a lot of text to ask. Will it have stamina? But that's a good question because we haven't seen a stamina bar. We've seen like the blue bar next to the red bar.
That's like
Which
sort of like a mana bar, I believe, or
yeah, which
special
we
attack
we
bar.
expect to be a mana or like a chart, like a special attack. Yeah, like you said. So like if you do the swinging animation with your axe or whatever, that could cost mana or something.
Right.
But
Yeah, I
my
don't know
guess
if
is like a
it's-
mana for magic.
Yeah, I don't know if it'll be like an arc stamina system where you can only start or only sprint for a certain amount of time, and then you got to go back to walking because that does get kind of annoying after a while, especially when you're running away from things.
Yeah.
But then it would also add a aspect of realism to it, and if you could upgrade that to make yourself run longer and run for a longer period of time, that would be pretty cool. Just we haven't seen anything like that, and I don't know if we will see something like that in a block game, I guess you could say.
Yeah. So we do know that the confirmation for food is health. Because we've seen the one combat clip where he fights a Torque and then eats some food afterwards, and his health bar goes up. So food does not regenerate your hunger / running stamina like it does in Minecraft. So we need to get that system out of our minds. Do you think? I mean, that can lead into another thing. Is do you think hunger will be? But I hope there isn't a stamina thing because personally, this is in every single game. A lot of games do this, where you have a stamina bar for how long you can run. I'm a person that loves to run. I hate when the stamina bar goes down because if you're like doing really long treks, you have to run really fast and you just walk for 5 seconds, and then you run really fast and you walk for 5 seconds or something like that. It's really annoying. What would be the benefit of adding a stamina meter or yeah, like a bar that stops you from running or something?
I mean, a benefit, like we said before, is to add realism to it, so you're not just sprinting 24/7. But then again, like, there's no really reason to add it. Like, unless there's like a boss fight where you're running around and you need your stamina to like stop or to sprint and save you, then maybe that's a way they could do it. But if you're just running around at night in Zone 3 and you're getting chased by a bunch of crawlers and void eyes and stuff, like I don't want to just stop sprinting and then they catch up to me and kill me. That just sucks, right? Like sure, yeah, you can have food and stuff to build up your stamina or whatever, like Minecraft does. But or you could just run. It's not very hard.
Yeah. Another question is, where in the UI do you think a stamina bar would be? Because we're going off the assumption that the blue bar is not a stamina bar, and it is some kind of mana or energy bar. But for like running in general, just running instead of walking, where would that be? Do you think there'd be a pop-up once you start running? Because that's what happens sometimes too, is the bar would not be there, but once you start running, there's like a pop-up on your screen that shows you like your bar decreasing.
Yeah, I don't know, and it really depends how they want to do this. Because yeah, we have those like sword attacks where you can charge up and do like a special move. But I also wondering if you know the little where they climb up the edge of the little block. It's what is it called? Mounting?
Yeah, the mantling.
Mantling. That's what I always forget the name of that. The mantling. So if you do that a bunch of times, will that drain your blue bar as well? Like I don't know. It seems like a special-ish thing that would drain your bar. So I don't know.
Yeah,
we'll have to see.
I was thinking that too is for climbing or like because we know that other movement techniques are in the game. We did an episode about movement before, and I talked about how cool like a sliding thing would be. And someone in the comments thankfully reminded me that in the blog post, it was like right the next sentence because I was reading the blog post. The right next sentence under that I didn't read said, "And yes, butt sliding is in the game." And
that
I remember
wouldn't take stamina, the butt sliding.
Yeah, it wouldn't, and I remember freaking out about it because I love sliding mechanics. If anyone here has ever played something like Apex Legends, you know that sliding, oh my god, it just feels so good. And a lot of other games have sliding mechanics that are just so clean. It lets you do a lot of cool combos with movement. So that would be a thing, is like, would they want to limit your movement if they do add so many more movement abilities, or do they want to go into the realm of like, hey, this is kind of a movement game. We're adding sliding, we're adding mantling, we're adding wall running. Imagine if they added wall running.
Wall running would be sick for parkour. Just saying.
Yeah, so it'd be interesting to see how they go about it, because I'm also thinking back about the clip we had of the skeleton dungeon where they fought a bunch of skeletons. We've seen the charge up attack because he jumped over that like
thing, yeah,
hole, I guess.
Yeah.
With the charge up attack, and there was no stamina meter that we could see in the UI. So at the current moment, charge up attacks don't cost anything; they just cost time and slow you down.
So yeah, we'll have to see. Maybe in the blog post that's hopefully coming soon, we'll get some more information on that. But right now, we just don't know.
Yeah. Let's see what the next question is. Okay, so we've already kind of talked about this. Vid has a follow-up question asking, how would AI be implemented in Hytale? Packs, factions, terrain, or trading? So the buzzword right now is AI. Everyone's talking about AI, but there's also, I mean, we've had AI for so long. Villagers from Minecraft are AI. Pigs are AI.
Any mob is an AI, basically.
Yeah. So
just not complicated AI like what
technically any creature we see is AI. The question is how advanced will they be? We already know that they have a lot of interactions with a lot of items and other creatures. So the famous clip of throwing the cheese down to the mouse, and the mouse will go to it. It'll be a cool question of like, how will that work with mob farming? Because I know a lot of people really love making mob grinders and mob farms, such as myself. And it's like, okay, what are the cool mechanics that these creatures will have that let you farm them? So we
like
can farm.
Will it be like Minecraft? Will it take a piece of wheat and a piece of wheat, touch 2 sheep, and you get a baby sheep? Will it be like that, or will there actually be like more complex system of? I don't even know how it would work, honestly, but we'll have to see.
Yeah, how would breeding work too? I mean, I would assume it's going to be similar to Minecraft, because you have to simplify it for obvious reasons. But you also can't. I don't know. I feel like it could just be the similar thing to Minecraft. I mean, the system works.
It does.
Unless people have an issue with it, but I'm not aware of any like problems with the breeding system. I think it works.
I mean, good. I don't see an issue. Like, sure, it gets annoying sometimes when you have a massive like 3,000 chickens in a pen, and you just you have like a stack of 64 seeds, and you start right clicking them all, and you make like a dozen more. That could get annoying, and I could see, like lag machines and all that. I know a bunch of servers, which it happens everywhere basically, and that's why a lot of servers like clear a bunch of entities whenever they need to, because when chickens are on a pen like that, they drop a lot of eggs, so stuff like that could get annoying. But then again, there's ways around it.
So we know about Quebecs hunting boars. I hope that's not a staged like funny short. I hope they actually do chase boars like that. I think that'd be so funny to just like sit in a tree and just watch them.
It would be really cool.
Run around, if make those funny faces.
I think it'd be cool if they do that to defend their village. Like, maybe they're not hunting the boar, maybe they're just scaring it away from their town. Because I don't know, maybe boars like to attack Quebecs or something. I don't really know. But it'd be cool if they do that. And imagine like a random chork shows up to their camp, just one of those like NPC chorks, and then you have like 30 Quebec just chasing it off and throwing spears at it. Like, that'd be dope. That'd be fun.
Yeah. So I think for this question, the interactions between mobs is probably the coolest thing that we'll have to wait and see how that works. And we already know there's so many.
We've seen so many.
I'm waiting on like this one like video or this one YouTuber to just test every single mob interaction. I'm watching that 40-minute video because I just want to see every single interaction.
I want to see how every single mob fights each other. Get ready for that, Myne. I think we got to do those videos together. We have to do that. You
100
drop 1,000
Quebecs
Quebecs.
versus 100 Chorks.
Chorks. Whose
See
will
who
win?
wins.
The tournament of epic tournaments. That'll be such a fun video, and hopefully our computers can handle it.
Who do you think will win? 100 Quebecs or 100 Chorks from what we know right now?
Probably Chorks, but if it's like 1,000 Quebecs versus 100 Chorks, that's a different story.
It's 10 times the Quebecs. I think Quebecs win at that point.
I think so, and I mean maybe Connor would say 1 Quebec versus 100 Chorks. Who knows?
You probably would. I wonder what the threshold will be. Like, is it 521 Quebecs can beat a Chork? Is it 522 will finally beat the Chorks? That's going to be interesting to find out.
Yeah. It takes 16 Quebecs to beat one Chork.
And you just start doing Mr. Beast style videos. I trap 100 Quebecs.
I put 10 chieftains on the field versus 1 Razor Leaf Ranger. That'll be good. Yeah, we'll have to do that. That'll be a fun video to do, or videos like Ultimate Epic Battle Simulator. But
yeah, and it just gets crazier and crazier. And then the final battle is just you versus 100 Quebecs, or you versus 100 more Mosshorns.
Oh, that'd be devastating.
100 Mosshorns versus 1 CanadianFlash.
I would win.
I need that video.
I'd pull out a flamethrower and it'd be game over, dude. Just start lighting them up. Lighting them up. All right, let's move on to
the Mosshorns have machine guns.
Yeah, we'll have to mod that in. 1,000 machine gun Mosshorns versus 1 flamethrower CanadianFlash.
That'd be so fun to watch. JSC asks, do you think the Hytale team have an internal date or window for release, or do you think they are truly just taking however much time it takes in order to reduce the stress in the workplace?
I'd be lying to you if I didn't think they have a specific window in mind. I think they do, and they'll never tell us, let's be honest. Like, we can ask BuddhaCat as much as we want. Hey, Buddha, when's the beta? He won't tell us. He won't. Like,
trust me, we've tried. We have tried. It does not work.
And yeah, I mean, you could ask any staff member. Noxy, Propsy, Skialito, John Hendricks. You know what they'll tell you? Ready when it's ready. That's basically what they'll tell you. But I'd be lying to you if I didn't think they did have a specific, not maybe like a date in mind, but like a specific maybe like 30-day period or like a 2-week period where they're like, you know what? That looks nice. That's a good time to release the game.
Yeah, I think there's a good difference between a date and a window, because they've previously had windows probably like towards the end of this year,
right,
next quarter or something like that. So they could be thinking in terms of quarters, because that's how a lot of businesses kind of like orientate their times, quarter 1 through 4. So they could be saying, you know what, quarter 3 2024, that's our release window.
That'd be crazy,
and
by the way.
If that would happen, hey, that's awesome, because we are almost a year away then. Do I think they have an exact date? That's tricky, because that's a very specific thing.
Games release on different days all the time. Like, some games release their game on it, like, yeah, the main release would be on a Friday, but then just say, for example, like creators or people pay for like an early version of the game, they get the game on like a Tuesday, and then like reviewers get the game like a week before them. So I don't know if there's like a specific date.
Yeah. Let me make sure I read the question. Yeah, it says for release. So release is tricky because, yeah, there are different releases. There is a game ready for release for beta. Then there's probably a bunch of private games, like whether we like it or not. There are going to be people that get to play the game before us. A lot of the time it's reviewers, so that they can have their review ready for day one. So they have to have a full release date and the game ready for reviewers, and then for a like 2-day early, like maybe a pre-order type thing.
I got a question for you, Myne. Do you actually watch game reviews like the day the game comes out? Because I have never done that in my life.
I can't say I have. I've watched game reviews. I watched like a good amount of them when I was a kid. I don't do that anymore. A lot of the times, because I mean, I don't really play that many new games, I'll be honest.
Right.
The most recent game I got was the new Zelda, and I didn't want to like know anything about it. I even avoided like some of the trailers until like right before I bought the game. Because I like going into games fresh. The only times I'll like watch a review or something, and a lot of times it's for movies and shows too, is if there's like a lot of controversy around it,
Like
and then
sort
it's
of like
like kind of,
Cyberpunk.
oh, do I actually want to spend my money on this game or spend my time watching this show or movie? Then you can consider. Then I consider like watching a review or something and getting
Right.
a different opinion.
Because what I do, like, I'll just for example, a couple weeks ago, the F1 game, like the 2023 version, it just launched. So I picked it up. I got the early like addition to it because, you know, content, right? So I played the game for a little bit and I'm like, cool, this looks fun. But I won't go to like what's a big reviewer? I think it's like IGN or something who reviews games all the time.
IGN, Game Reviewer.
I'd never watch
those
one of those videos. There's like creators in the community who make reviews of the game because they're the ones who actually play the game for years and years, and they know sort of what the players want. I would watch those reviews like over a full game reviewer that just gets the game early to make a review, because what the heck do they know? Like, sure, yeah, maybe you're an F1 fan, but you're not playing the game. You don't know that they completely revamped the handling model to make it so much smoother going in from last year's game to this year's game. You just played the both launch games, and that's probably it. So maybe for Hytale, I would rather see a creator's review over a big game company's reviewed. And maybe
and
not
I think
one
a
of us,
lot of
because we'd be really biased.
I think
probably,
a lot of
but
people are like that. I mean, there is a place for these big game reviewers. I mean, there's a reason they're big.
100%.
It gets like the broader audience, and it gives the general public the information. But a lot of people who are more into the gaming scene want to hear from gamers, because we know reviewers are very bad at video games. It's kind of ironic. So if I'm looking at a new, what's a franchise? A new Call of Duty game, I'd rather watch it from like a Call of Duty pro whose entire life is Call of Duty. They know the game. Or like there was a new Battlefield that came out. I'd rather watch one from people who love the franchise to death than someone. But that's because I'm also probably more than a casual gamer. So I value those opinions more.
Yeah, but then also, just say you haven't heard of Hytale and you see like an IGN review on YouTube and you watch it. Like, yeah, that you can completely do that if it's for brand new people who like went from Minecraft to Hytale, never really heard of it. Yeah, then I guess there's, like you said, there is a place for those. But I don't know, just personally, I'd rather watch a more like frontline perspective of it.
I think a big difference between those is also a generalization of the game. I think a lot of like more private or like personal reviews kind of assume you know the game a bit more, because like an IGN or a game reviewer expects that you may have never played the game, or you might have heard of the game or series, and then they give you a very broad analysis. But if you're like watching it, I'm going to go back to the example of Call of Duty Pro. They expect that you've played a lot of Call of Duty games.
Yeah.
They like, you know, the systems, and then they talk like really in depth about the system, which is something that game reviewers kind of can't do, because it would get too technical. If that makes sense. So yeah.
So there's a place for both. There's a place for both. Cool.
Yeah, 100%. So that was crazy off topic from
our bad.
do I think they have a release window? I think it was a good discussion. They 100% in my opinion, they 100% have a window, because if you've ever, and I'm going to say this for everyone, if you've ever worked on like a personal project or you wanted to do something, you know of an example where you haven't given yourself a date and you just keep working on it, and then you're like, oh, I'll like continue it tomorrow, or I have time. But when you've given yourself a date, and I'm pretty sure everyone's had something where they've been like, okay, I need to do this by Friday, there's no exceptions. Good example of this, taxes. Very important to do them on time.
Yes.
If you give yourself a date,
sure
hey, I'm doing taxes 1 month before the deadline, and that's like your cutoff, then you're more inclined and you are actually working to get them done. And then 1 month before taxes are due, you have your taxes due. That I assume is kind of the same thing for a lot of game devs, and in this case Hytale. If they're like, okay, we need it by August 2024, just saying the month, then they're gonna work as if they have to release it August 2024. And then if stuff comes up like a delay, then understandable, but like they are working as if they have to release it 2024, and that kind of drives you.
Yeah, and
I
it's
think
kind of
that's
funny.
like a just general psychology thing. If you know you have to do something, you're gonna more likely to do it than I have time.
Yeah, and it's funny because Hytale is a game that's never really confirmed a release date, but they've had specific release windows in the past. Like when the trailer dropped, they wanted to release the game in 2019 or at least a beta for it.
Yeah.
And then it got really popular, and then in a blog post, so like 2021, want to make it playable by
Mhm.
everybody. So that was likely a beta, probably not really a full release by then. And then after that, they're like, you know what, 2023 at the earliest, but probably
No,
more likely
2024 at the earliest.
2024 at the earliest, sorry. So they have put windows in place for them already in the past, so I would not be surprised if they do have one already, and I'd be lying. Like I said, like I'd be shocked if they didn't have one.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up because they have had specific release windows where I'm pretty sure there's public knowledge that they've said they really did want to release the game. So when the trailer launched, obviously they didn't expect it to blow up. They wanted to launch it in 2019.
They did.
And then
It's our
the
fault
fact
that
that
Hytale's not out yet.
The fact that it blew up was the reason for the delay. And then they were like, okay, you know what? We're working. We have these like goals in mind. We want it released by 2021.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they've said that they really did want to release it 2021.
I think they would have
and
released it
then-
if they didn't decide to go cross-platform. That's
Yeah.
the thing. We would have
Yeah,
had the
and
game by
then
now.
and then the I think the two things that changed the date was the Riot acquisition and the changing of the engine. Those two things are like, okay, we just can't release it 2021 anymore.
Yeah.
I can't think of many other reasons to delay the game again. So if they have 2024 in mind,
like there's not
that
much
is
else
their
that they
date.
could do.
Yeah,
They're going
'cause
cross-platform. It's not like you can do much else after that. There's no other.
they
platforms.
essentially already remade the game. I mean, the engine is like the seed of the game,
They made the engine.
the roots. So if you change, yeah, they can change like small things, but I think the engine is the biggest thing, and yeah, they have a release date.
Yeah.
I don't think there's too much more to talk about. I think we
Let's move on
this
to the
pretty
next
thoroughly.
question. Let's move on.
Ooh, this is an interesting question. RPG Penguin asks, how important do you think the Endlands will be?
Endlands?
Yeah. So I think what they're
What do you
referring
mean?
to
Like the end?
is, I remember hearing that for at least like the story mode, the zones, there's like the 6 zones, and it's kind of like a continent, and then there's an ocean, and once you cross that ocean, it's like infinitely
what is it
generating
called, like
land.
the Farlands or something like that?
I mean, that's a Minecraft term. I don't
Oh,
know
okay.
if Hytale ever gave it a term. Someone can correct us if we're wrong. We'll just call it the Endless Lands. We'll
That
just
makes
call
sense.
it Farlands. Fuck
Yeah,
it.
I
We'll
don't
call
know,
it
just
Farlands. That's easier.
Well, yeah, it's technically just procedurally generated, terrain.
Yeah, so I think that's been confirmed that was the idea. I don't know if it's changed. They've obviously relooked at the story and adventure mode a lot, but the idea was that the 6 zones are on a continent. They're like pretty fine, and then big ocean, and then
the rest of the
endless
world.
generation land.
Yeah.
How important do you think they will be? I mean,
Not
pretty important.
Well, no, it depends, because the story will be
In terms of the
that
story, I don't
concept.
think they will be.
Yes, of course. But then,
yeah.
if you want to just have, I think if you want to have like an SMP minus like a lore-based SMP, you do it in the Farlands, because then you won't have to see all the other.
Well, no,
like,
then you
main
just
story
like spawn a creative world.
Well, yeah, you could do that too, if that's
You
possible.
wouldn't launch the adventure mode.
Oh, okay. So then, what would
Because
you
the
do in
adventure
those
is story.
Farlands then?
Well,
Like you just
because a lot
beat
of
dungeons?
people like playing. It's like post game. You've beat the story, and now you're playing Hytale normally, but you already have this world. So a lot of people don't want to leave this world. They might have built a really cool house, or they've maybe there's a quest that lets you like live in a Quebec village or something, and they just really like the world. But if it's a continent with these 6 zones, that's not infinite resources.
Yeah, and that also, if we're talking about the infinite zones and stuff, that's a lot of replayability, which like if unlike Ark, like I like Ark, but it is just a map, and once you do everything on that map, there's really nothing else to do on it. That's why they have so many other worlds out there. Like they got like Ragnarok and all these other things. So yeah, it would be good for replayability. And we don't know if there's like a nether or like an end biome or anything like that. But it would be cool to see. But then again, we don't really know. So yeah.
I think nether and end will be the other planets. I don't think there's gonna
Makes sense.
I mean, we don't know, but I assume there's not going to be any other dimension. It's going to be the Orbis, and then it's going to be the other planets or the different worlds.
We do have a concept art of portal dimensions.
Yeah.
So I don't know where those would take you. Never seen anything about those. So that could be something.
Yeah, and we've also seen the VFX of the portal, but once again, that could just lead to like Numdrassil or something.
Yeah, you're right. But
or
who knows?
It could just lead to another part of Orbis.
That too, if they connect, that would be really cool.
Like a fast travel or something.
Oh god, I hope so. I like fast travel.
Yeah, so the Endless Lands, in terms of story, I don't think they'll be important at all. Maybe they'll like mention it in dialogue, be like, "Oh, the Endless Lands" or something like that.
I think it would be cool if you could find like little bits of like lore books in like chests or something that tells you what happened to this specific structure in this specific area. That would be really cool and add a little bit more depth to Hytale that doesn't affect the main lore. But then again, maybe it's just, oh, dungeon, fight skeleton, and then go to the next one.
Yeah, it could be. We don't know how they plan to set up their adventure mode. They've chosen to be very secretive about it, and I think that's a good thing because there's going to be so much to learn about it. But yeah, in terms of Endless Lands, it's only important if you want to play on the adventure mode world and you want to like see other biomes, because I assume if it's a continent, you can't fit every single biome in the game in there because each zone has different biomes. Yeah, so just to get more resources, different biomes out there. But if you want to play like a world just like you'd play a Minecraft world, you would just spawn into the creative world.
Yeah, so do you think this, like, obviously they're gonna be sort of similar to like Zone 1, Zone 2, Zone 3, possibly Zone 4, or do you think the Farlands are gonna have a bunch of different type of zones, like maybe like a taiga biome like we see in Minecraft, or you think they'll just like one biome will just be, oh yeah, we got that little autumn forest, and then
a taiga biome would be in Zone
2, right?
3.
Wait, what's the oh, it's a Mesa biome. That's the red clay. I was thinking Mesa biome, right? Yeah. So I wonder if they would like connect sort of similar to Minecraft, because we know in Hytale they're like, yeah, Zone 2 borders Zone 1, and there's some nice transition.
I also wonder if zones will be in the creative world, because it makes sense in terms of the story and all of that. But if it's like an infinitely generating, is it like, are zones just climate areas or like generation areas to make it all conform? Because I mean, that's kind of how it is in the real world. You know, the north has like the more taiga areas, the south has more like deserty areas. So is it like if you spawn in the world, you spawn in Zone 2 and then there's a Zone 3, but on the other side of Zone 3 is another Zone 2, and it's just like that's how the like biomes are generated? Because they can't make an infinite world and then only have the 6 zones and then not repeat, because they'd be like, is it Zone 3 all the way into infinity over there? That I don't know, that wouldn't make sense.
Yeah, I don't know. I think honestly it would be kind of cool if they just did it the way that Minecraft generated their biomes. Just maybe
so they just said, fuck it, zones don't exist in the creative world, they only exist in
I don't know. We like
adventure.
I think it's just what players are used to. That's probably why we're saying it. But how
I think we're confused because this is a completely new concept that we haven't seen in any other games.
We've seen get lost, they can never find the 6 main zones again.
Yeah,
what would happen?
Yeah, that's also a good question. If you just like go really far into Zone 3, does it mean you'll never see Zone 6 unless you travel like 10k blocks?
Yeah, like unless there's like a compass or spawn point that always leads you back to where like maybe where your bed is, like we've seen that. But then again, it's kind of hard to do that.
Yeah. So my guess is that zones are not going to be as linear in the creative mode. I think zones, I think we're thinking of them too specifically, because we know we think of like the concept art, Zone 1, Zone 2, Zone 3, Zone 4. And that's not really how it is. It's just like a concept showing the different terrains. My guess and my take, we'll find out if I'm correct when the game releases, is that zones are just like a sort of like climate area. These type of biomes will be in there, so it's like kind of more conform. So you don't have desert, snow, jungle, desert,
Yeah, like desert. Yeah,
so it doesn't
desert
make
to
sense.
snow
It just
doesn't
like
make sense. Yeah.
gradually evens it out, and then you'll have like a zone 3. Then let's assume you're just traveling north.
Yep.
You'll spawn in zone 3. Zone 1 is next. Then there's a zone 4, and then there's another zone 1, etc.
Yeah.
That's gonna be my guess.
Cool. All right. Well, let us know in the comments what you guys think, because this is a really interesting one, and we'll try to ask the High Circle Discord. Maybe we'll come back to this and see how we could have a whole blog. That'd be cool, a whole blog about this. But
we could have a whole blog about this. Realistically, I think it's a very, very in-depth and very complicated topic. So I hope we honestly did the discussion justice.
I wouldn't be surprised if majority of like the blocks and even a lot of the prefabs are going to be ones that you don't even see in the main 6 zones. Like if you go out to the Firelands and you see all these different like trees and everything you've ever seen before, like I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of those are just kind of chilling there and you're like, oh, new stuff. That'd be cool.
Yeah. This one's gonna be a fun discussion. Vid asks, how fast will a speedrun of Hytale main story be? Sub 20? Question mark. All glitches might be a lot faster. So
I don't know. I ain't no speedrunner. I'm never gonna be a speedrunner, so I can't talk about this.
I think this is an interesting question, because we have to like think about, okay, I'm gonna ask you this. How long do you think the Hytale story will be? If you do let's take the average player, because I assume you and I will likely be able to play the story through a bit faster than most, because we kind of understand it. Let's say you are a new player to Hytale, load up the game. How long will adventure mode take you?
Well, considering a while ago they said there was like 90 pages of lore or something like that, and now it's probably up there towards the over 100 mark, maybe 150 pages of lore, depending if they rewrote anything.
Well, they said it's completely dwarfed, so I assume it's close to 200, 300.
Okay, so I don't know how long a normal like game is in terms of like pages of lore. I never really look into anything like that. I just sort of play the game. But how long is a typical game? Like, what would you say? How long would you think like how long is Legend of Zelda or like Breath of the Wild?
That's a really bad example.
Oh, is that a long game?
That's probably the worst example.
Okay, so for example, I played Jedi Fallen Order, but I didn't straight play it non-stop, right? Like, I mean, nobody does. Nobody plays games like that. And it took me like probably 2 weeks to complete, I have to say. But then again, some days I played like 1 hour, some days I played like 4 hours of the game. But then I would say a lot of things.
I would say a decent average from games, if it's like a full-fledged big game, is like 20 to 30 hours. Or let's say like 15 to 30 hours.
Okay. Yeah,
I think a
time of
good estimate to like include a bunch of different genres of games.
It takes me a long time to play games.
Hytale is going to be difficult because it kind of has, my guess is it kind of has a Breath of the Wild system where you can choose to do the story, but you can also choose to fuck off and just do your own thing.
Yeah, that's a big thing. That's the same thing as Jedi Fallen Order. Like, you don't have to follow the story. You can just go around killing stormtroopers if you want. But you don't really do that.
Because you could get like a quest from a Quebec being like, oh my god, please, someone is kidnapped. We don't know what they'll do. They're close to dying. And then you're like,
bet.
There's a really, really cool flower over there. I'm going to make a garden instead. And then you just become a gardener for 20 hours.
Exactly.
So while you're planting your pretty little flowers, you have in your head of some Quebec getting tortured. Maybe that makes planting those flowers even a more beautiful sight.
A lot of people like to see them.
A lot of people like to see them suffer. So yeah.
This is a very open-ended question that only the developers know the answer to. And
I'm gonna be honest.
48 hours. Big game.
I don't even know if they know the answer, because I really do believe that it's a game where you can get a quest, but you can also choose to be like, okay, you know what? I see this really cool construct over there. I'm gonna go there instead.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm gonna do. It's gonna take me at least 3 years to play Hytale. So if you're watching my Let's Play, guys, good luck. So, Yeah,
But
so
I think
guess you could
we're assuming
speedrun.
of like you just do quest to quest to quest to quest. Because speedrun is like ignoring, like you're not going to build a house in the speedrun. You're just going to try to beat the game as fast as possible.
Well, the fastest way possible, I guess, is go there, do whatever mandatory quest you have to do, go to Varen, chop his head off, get the roll credit. So I don't know how long it's going to take, let's be honest. Like, will you spawn in a dungeon? Like, is there a way to spawn in a dungeon where you get a super overpowered sword, go to Varen's temple or wherever the hell it is, go and kill him and one-shot him? If that's possible, then you could do it in 5 minutes. If that's not possible, then who knows how long it's going to take.
Yeah. So I'm gonna try to answer the sub 20 question and then also do with glitches.
What's the Minecraft record? Like 9 minutes now or something?
I have no clue. I don't really keep up with it. Sub 20 will. Well, I think it'll. I don't know. I can't answer this. I actually give up. I can't answer this because we have zero information about the story.
So the fastest Minecraft speedrun time is 16 minutes and 38 seconds.
Is this so?
That's from XQC.
That's not the fastest.
That's May 8th, 2023.
That's not the fastest.
Maybe it's the most fastest.
XQC does not have the... No.
Legit?
No.
Huh. Did someone else
No.
speed it?
No.
Oh, 8
he's not
glitches.
close.
There's 8 glitches in 11 minutes and 7 seconds. But that was
7 minutes, 45 seconds.
Jesus.
The world record is 7 minutes, 45 seconds.
Is that maybe XQC is the fastest non-glitch time?
No. XQC does not have anything close to the world record. He has never had a world record in Minecraft ever.
Oh, okay. Well, why would Google? Don't lie to me like this.
Wait, you looked up and Google said that?
That was the first thing that Google says. It's in bold letters right on the top.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, we don't trust Google no more. I
gotta have the world record.
He must be paying for that with his 100 million contract. God, we need to get one of those kick contracts, Myne.
Yeah.
Because
I give up on that question. I can see.
Yeah, next. We're talking way too much about speedrunning. Yep. Next question.
Let's see. Question for Buddha Cat. Oh, well, we already kind of.
I'll answer on his behalf. Question. Beta tomorrow. All right.
Because the question was, how often do you play Hytale? But I can answer this.
Probably every
with
day.
A guess.
Every day?
I assume every other day.
Man, I wish I was Buddha Cat. I'd love to play Hytale.
I don't think he plays every day because I feel like he has a few days in the week where it's literally just from meeting to meeting to meeting.
Yeah, and I don't know if he specifically plays it as well because his role is like the community manager, social media manager.
He definitely plays it.
Like, I know he takes screenshots and all that, so he definitely plays it. I'm sure he just loads it up sometimes. He's like, I get to play when these guys aren't. But yeah, next question. We can't answer on behalf of Booty Cat, even though we'd love to.
I'm gonna ask you a question.
Okay.
Have any of the developers' kids played Hytale?
Ooh. I don't know how many of them have kids. I assume probably a lot of them.
Probably a good amount.
Yeah, I'd say a good amount. Like, I know... What's her name? Holly has kids. Buddha's got kids. Probably Moo. I wouldn't be surprised. Maybe Chris. I don't know if Noxy has kids. He's never mentioned it if he has. But
I'm not asking you who has kids.
I'm just trying to think of how many have kids. I don't know if they've specifically played it, like had their hands on the keyboard and was starting fighting Chorks and stuff. But I wouldn't be surprised if, Buddha's kids walked into his room while he's doing a screenshot and saw him play Hytale. So it's possible. Or he's like, don't come in my room. I have an NDA. You can't see this. So
I have an NDA. You 3-year-old are not allowed to look at.
No, I don't know. It would be funny if they did, but who knows? I wouldn't be surprised if they took like a nice family trip to Derry, Londonderry, and just start playing Hytale. That'd be cool.
My guess is yes.
Yeah, I would be surprised. I would not be surprised.
I think so. I think some of the kids played at least like 5 minutes.
I mean, some YouTubers have played the demos back in the day, so maybe they played a demo.
Very true.
As well. Yeah.
Krager the Cyborg asks, favorite type of terrain so far, not meaning zones or biomes, just the look of terrain.
Ooh, let me pull up some screenshots real quick.
Yeah, I'm going to go to the media tab of the Hytale page.
Yeah. Backgrounds. There's so many good terrains, dude. I don't know, Zone 2 looks gorgeous.
I think I'm having a bit of a hard time understanding the question because this is not zones or biomes, and those are like.
So like, I think you have to just describe a biome probably. Honestly,
Yeah,
I know this is a biome, but it's called the Salt Flats in Zone 2. It's sort of like that red salt thing that if you watch Star Wars, The Last Jedi, you know when they were doing those little red, like those little speeders on that like that red salt planet?
that
It
was a
reminds me
concept
like
art they showed, right?
no, there's an in-game image too.
Oh, they did the in-game image too.
Yeah, here
Let
I'll
me
send it to
find
you. Yeah, it's called Rodon__ Salt Flats, I guess. So I guess Rodon or Rodin took the picture of it. Shout out to him.
It was on a
Salt Flats look
blog
really cool. It just
post.
reminds me of Star Wars, which is dope, and I love Star Wars. There's some other ones too. There's Misty Forests. I know it's a biome as well, but it just looks so nice. You can't tell me it doesn't look nice. There's so many things. Even this, the Frost Blizzard image, it's gorgeous. Oh my god. I'm just looking at this right now like, bro, it is fantastic. And honestly, it's all the ones from the new blog post where they really show the updated images. They look so good. I can't choose mine. I'm gonna be honest. There's so many good ones.
I can't really find the image, but that doesn't really matter. I've said that my favorite biome that I've seen is the magical like blue forest.
That's nice.
I think
like that one.
I think that is still one of my favorites, but since I've already answered that as like my favorite biome, I kind of don't want to choose that. I think my answer can be, it's also from I think that blog post or whatever it was where they showed those concept images.
Yeah.
But it's the like ice glacier. The ice glacier that like really forms like a tsunami.
That's my wallpaper.
It's either that or specifically the image of the Trork in the hot springs. I think that's actually my favorite.
Oh, I know which one you're talking about. Do I have it?
Actually
That's a zone 1 image, right? Or is it, yeah, the zone 1 image?
I don't think it's zone 1.
Or is it zone? It might be zone 3 actually.
I'm delaying the podcast right now from moving on because I want to find this image, but I don't know where they posted it. I really don't know.
Is it not in the newest blog?
No.
Oh boy. Oh no, that's just a regular hot spring.
I remember
I don't know where
tweeting
it
them,
is.
but I'd have to scroll down far on my tweets to find that because I think it's a lot older.
It's a long time ago. Yeah, that's. I'm looking through all the photos I have. Like a lot. There's a lot of them. Let's be honest. But yeah, I can't find it. I'm sure it's somewhere in here. But let's move on to the next question.
I had it as my phone wallpaper for the longest time, and I think that's why I
did. You really? That's awesome.
Yeah, because they were vertical images, so they were like perfect for a phone wallpaper.
They were vertical images. Oh boy. I'm never gonna.
Yeah, they were really beautiful.
I have a whole wallpapers. It's not. No, I don't have it. I don't know. It's somewhere. Whatever. Okay, what's the next one, Mike?
Okay, I'm gonna ask the next question while I keep searching. So I'm gonna ask that, and you're gonna answer it. Are you ready for this?
Yes, I am always ready.
Vid asks, have they ran out of content? Oh, this is a bit older. Oh no, this is May 10th. Have they ran out of content because they've stopped posting postcards? Maybe we've seen everything. Okay, that's it.
Alrighty.
We have not seen everything. We've barely seen anything, I'm going to be honest. Because there are loads of Hytale pictures. CanadianFlash, I want your 5 GB folder worth of Hytale content. That's such perfect timing since you literally just talked about scrolling through your folder.
That's crazy. You know what's funny? This is completely off topic. Mr. Beast just put out a tweet, says he was invited earlier this month to ride into the Titanic submarine. And he said no.
I found it.
You found it? Nice.
These are my wallpapers. I'm gonna send them to you.
Send me that on Discord because I want to see this.
Are you editing the podcast, or are you too lazy and you're just gonna upload it?
Probably too lazy, just gonna upload it.
Yeah, that's what I figured. Okay. This is the tweet.
Oh, it's a concept art. I was looking for an image.
Yeah,
I was looking for an image.
Here's the tweet with all the concept art. I have the tweet bookmarked. I'm gonna remember this. I'm gonna link the tweet in the description so you guys can also see it because I feel really bad talking about images and you guys can't see them. So if you go to the description, I linked the tweet with all the concept art versus in-game biomes.
If you want new wallpapers, there you go.
If you want new wallpapers, go ahead and do that.
All right, next question.
There's the salt flats. Oh my god, yes.
They're so nice, dude. The salt flats. That's a new biome too. Like I know we said no biomes, but like, how can you describe a terrain without talking about a biome? So
yeah, very beautiful.
Next, what? Next, what? I love.
3tab asks, do you think the game will be dumbed down as a whole to be ported to mobile? I think we've already answered that, and the answer is no.
Nope, no shot. Next one.
Yeah, that wasn't really good.
It was a good question.
Talking point. It was a good question, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
People keep talking about it. Will the game be easier just because people have phone? I don't think so. I think
Nope.
you just lower the difficulty of the game.
Yep. Next. We talked about a lot of these already.
What is our favorite track? We've already answered that. All right. Final question. Destiny Purpley asks, do you think you'll be able to bring creatures from zone to zone?
Yes.
Could we see some Quebecs being transported to Zone 3 and perhaps different forms of them for other areas? Like, I'd like to see an evergreen Quebec, and maybe that's another stage we haven't seen.
We've seen a Quebec hut or a Quebec village, what looks like, in the borders of Zone 3. So I would not be surprised if there are Quebecs in Zone 3, though. No, we did see Quebecs in the image, right? Did we see Quebecs in the image? I was
have no
gonna
clue
say
what image you're talking about.
It could be a. Okay, I will find this and I'll send it to you. Zone 3. Oh, beautiful. It's the first one I have. Yeah, no, that is definitely a Quebec image. Quebec village, sorry. I'm going to send it to you on Discord. Sorry, guys. You're going to see a small picture of mine real quick. There you go. I just sent it to you.
Oh, yeah, that is 100% Zone 3.
That's a Quebec village.
That's 110% Zone 3.
Mm-hmm.
I have not seen this image before.
Really? Mine, buddy. What are you're lacking.
I'm gonna post it on Twitter and be like,
new image. Okay, you're gonna get like 1,000 likes on it.
Because a lot of the times, if I haven't I don't remember a picture. A lot of times, other people don't remember the picture.
You just gotta get better.
There is definitely a Quebec village in Zone 3. So that answers your questions. We don't even have to transport them. They just live in different zones. So it'll be interesting to see. Do they have different forms? And I think that's a really cool question, because
we don't see Quebecs in this image, so we don't know.
We don't see Quebecs in the village. True.
I'm trying to look. I don't see any seedlings or anything either. They don't look different.
Yeah, there are no mobs in this image. But one of my favorite things from Minecraft is whenever you bring a villager to a different biome, they change their clothes and their appearance. Or if you find a villager in a different biome, they just spawn with a different appearance. So it'd be really cool if Quebecs in like a birch forest have a whiter and like black and white color scheme compared to like the standard oak, or if the ones in this Zone 3 image have these more like cedar, darker spruce textures. That'd be really cool.
I think that could already be confirmed if you take a look at the skeletons, because skeletons in Zone 1, Zone 2, Zone 3, and Zone 4, they all look different. So I wouldn't be surprised if another very popular mob in Hytale, the Quebec, even the mascot, is different in every zone, though we have not seen anything like it. Yeah,
that's a good thing to bring up, is the skeletons. So we do know that the skeletons change depending on the biome. I'm gonna be honest, it doesn't have to be in the base game. So I would not care if Quebecs don't change their wood based on the different like forests or biomes they're in.
But they would have to.
If maybe like a year or two down the line, when they've already released the game and they can work on like cool quality of life changes.
Yeah,
that would be a cool quality of life change.
I'll counteract your point here, because the lore of the Quebecs is they drop from a tree in that specific zone. It would look weird if there is a Zone 1 tree just chilling in Zone 3. And now that there is a Quebec village in Zone 3, I would not be surprised if, the old, what are they called, ancestral trees or something that the Quebecs drop from? Wouldn't be surprised if they are like a big spruce tree, or it's a big birch tree instead of just a big old looking oak tree that we have. So I don't know.
Yeah, now that you say it, it would not make sense if there's like a big redwood tree and they drop from redwood trees and they're not redwood.
Yeah, Quebecs. Or it could just be Quebec like refugees leaving their main village and going to Zone 3. It could be that too.
Yeah, could also be. There's a lot of reasons for that. Do I think you can transfer mobs to different zones? 100%.
What do you like? How am I supposed to get my cave raptors? How am I supposed to move them from Zone 4 to Zone 1 in my house?
Because like, what is the alternative? There's just an invisible border, and they just like
stop.
Don't
That'd be funny.
Don't move fast.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think that would
100%.
make sense. So
No.
yeah, you can move animals between the different zones. If they like react differently or have different textures, we don't know. We'll have to find out.
Yes.
That is going to be the end of the episode. I hope you guys enjoyed. We went through a lot of your questions. I think there were a lot of really, really great and in-depth discussions had here. Once again, make sure to join the Discord. Subscribe. We're trying to beat Hytale Spins in
Almost
terms
there.
of subscribers.
Almost
We're
there.
almost there. And
I
your
mean, not really.
subscribe will make a difference. And we'll see you in the next one. Peace out.